Hey, so I wanted to make a YouTube video just kind of to share something that happened with me when I was younger. This is going back all the way in 2010. So in 2010, I was at this party. And to kind of make a long story short, I had a near-death experience. And okay, I'm just going to introduce myself kind of so you know me. Before this happened, I went to church maybe a few times, when I was younger. Um, I was kind of connected to believing, maybe there was something. I don't know. This book says there is, this church says there is. People say there's something else besides us, but for the most part, you just kind of never know, you know. And so what happened was on February 20th, 2010, I was at this party, regular party, and basically one thing led to another, and I ended up dying at this party. I had a seizure in the kitchen. So from other people's point of view, this is what happened. I'm in the kitchen. I have a seizure. Okay, I'm down on the ground. People are surrounding me, and everyone's saying, "Oh my gosh, like, is she dead? Is she dead?" That's what their version was. I didn't see that version. Well, I did kind of, I'll tell you. My version of what happened was I was standing in the hallway and I saw, you know, yellow caution tape right in the kitchen. So I look and I'm like, what is going on? Why is there yellow caution tape? So I walk down the hall into the kitchen and I see like this big group of people standing there, and then they're all in a circle. I'm like, what are they looking at? Like, what's going on? So I look down into the circle, and I'm at a party. I'm supposed to be, having a good time, but like there's now caution tape, and I'm like, what is going on? I look down into the circle, and I'm in the middle of the circle, and everybody's staring at me, and my body is laying on the ground. And then I am like, whoa. So I try to like maybe communicate with people, or no one can really hear me. I look down, my body's not there. Like I have no body. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like this is just crazy. So like I'm kind of scared. Well, not scared, but I'm like, okay, I like obviously I died. I just knew at that moment like nobody can hear me. I'm not supposed to be here anymore. So in that second I realized, okay, I'm dead. I look up. All of a sudden in the kitchen, I see this like huge white light coming from the ceiling to the floor. And it's just like boom. And it's right there. And I just knew like, okay, that's home. Like that's where I'm supposed to go. So I had nowhere really else to go. No one was talking to me. I had no body, so I just like naturally moved into the light. So I went into the light, and as I was moving up into the light, I just started to feel so good. Like I can't, words can't explain it. Like the higher that I went into the light and the more that I moved up and further away from Earth, the better I felt. And the feeling of pleasure does not really apply to this Earth. Like, nothing can compare. Like if you took everything that you were in favor of, like maybe getting a massage in a hot tub, your favorite music, your favorite food, your favorite drink, everything that you love happening to you all at once, no matter what it is, all at once, it would not even closely compare to the pleasure that was just within that light. And as you moved further into, like further away from this earth, the pleasure felt even better. So you just moved up, it felt better and better. It was insane. So anyways, as I'm moving, like as I'm going up into the light, like you could just tell you're moving up, I look to my side, and like the dark was disappearing. So as I looked to the side, like the earth turned into blackness. So the earth kind of turned into black matter, and um, like all the objects and everything just kind of turned into this dark blackness. And then all of a sudden, as you're moving up into the light, which is white, right? Whitish light, um, the black starts disappearing. So all the black goes away because the light's taking it. And then the craziest thing was when I looked behind me, like all the way behind me from where I came from, I saw Earth, and Earth was like, it would be like you standing up and looking down and seeing like an ant on the ground. Like our entire universe was the size of an ant. Like it just made you realize how insignificant this life is. And, we're only on this earth for a short period of time. But after this period of time, there's an eternal life that we have to live. And I don't think many people know that, or many people believe it. I mean, I wasn't really sure. I didn't really 100% maybe believe it before this happened. And then after this happened, I was like, whoa, there is a place you go. And yeah, it's important for people to know that. So anyways, I saw this and then it disappeared. So now I'm completely up in this light, and I see my whole life flash before my eyes, and I feel amazing. I don't go any further, it's just light. But I saw my whole life flash before my eyes. Every person I knew, everything I experienced, I don't know how it happened that fast, but I got to see my entire life all at once. And I honestly looked at my life and I felt like a complete failure. I felt like I had lived one big selfish life, which was only directed to myself. And I never helped anybody on this planet, or I never gave anything. To a substantial amount. Really, I just felt like I lived a life that was, I guess now I know the terminology, but worldly, So that kind of it was weird because, there was that one disappointment up there. So that was kind of strange. Just to look at my whole life, that seems so big on earth. My life was so important, my friends, my clothes, all this stuff was huge priority here. And then when you get up there, you look at it and you're it's kind of funny because you realize how small this planet is and how insignificant your big life really is. It's just funny. But anyways, moving past this point. So what happened was, as I looked through my life, another thing happened. My dog at that time popped out of it almost looked like Mac computer, similar to Mac computer, where everything flashes it kind of looked like that. So everything's flashing, and sorry, that's my dog drinking water. And he's still drinking water. Everything flashed before my eyes, and then my dog popped out. Okay, my dog popped out, and then this girl popped out, and I already felt so much love, but this overwhelming feeling of love when I looked at my dog. It wasn't really a picture, it was just my dog kind of. And then this girl, these overwhelming feelings of love came to me. And this girl was a friend, she was really close with me. And yeah. So, and my dog I cared about so much, so I really cared about these things. I felt like maybe I couldn't just leave these behind. So what I said was, it naturally came out. I didn't have a body at that time, so it came through my mind. I spoke through my mind, just like when you talk to yourself in your head, but it was the only thing I could hear. It was amplified, so it would be louder than my voice talking through my mouth, but through my mind, amplified. It was really weird. And then so I basically said, I'm not ready to go. Yeah, I said I'm not ready to go. And then this voice, which was God, you just know, it's this very familiar voice that almost, to me, what it sounded like was the tone of everybody else's voice. It was this is the voice almost, and then each of us have a different pitch, lower or higher, and this was the voice for all, and we all have voices stemming off this voice. That's kind of what, it was so familiar to me, and I can't get over it. But the next thing too is when I said I'm not ready to leave, or I'm not ready to go, or whatever, even though I wanted to be up there, I just couldn't leave behind my life at that time. So the voice said to me, if you want to live, show it. And then the minute I said, okay, boom, it was like back out of the light, like back into darkness coming past me, back into my body. And then I'm just like, I wake up and I'm laying on the kitchen floor, and all I can see is red, like everywhere. Like all I see is just like red everywhere. And like all these people are around me and I'm like just coming to, and all these people are, are you okay? Are you okay? Oh my gosh, we thought you were dead. Like they're all concerned about me. And I just see red everywhere. And I think like, I just remember asking them like, am I bleeding? I thought I broke my arm, or I thought I was bleeding. I could see blood everywhere. I just saw red all over. And I'm like, am I bleeding? Like, what's going on? And they're like, no, you're not bleeding. Are you okay? I'm like, yeah. And then all of a sudden the red went away. And and I just like, there's a strobe light. And that was the thing that gave me the seizure in the first place. So I see this strobe light like bumping, and I just like take it and I rip it out of the wall, like threw it across the room. And I think people were, trying to grab me and pick me up or help me. And I just didn't really understand. I'm punching everything like, oh, I'm back on this earth. Like, what's going on? Throw the strobe light. The lights were off. It was a party. I turned on the lights, and it was just no, great. When you're up there, there's nothing. I mean, I could sit here and my clothes right now are kind of uncomfortable. My hair is kind of in my face. Like, I don't want to be negative, but the reality is that it's not perfect on earth. And there is a place where none of this exists. I mean, like, my leg might be sore right now. I might have to adjust my seating because, we get uncomfortable at times. My throat is kind of dry. I mean, I can go on. Just everything. Like, the light might be too bright in this eye. I could be wearing sunglasses. This sounds really stupid, but the fact of the matter is, life here, there is darkness here, and there is no perfection here. And to actually be able to believe or to know that there is a place where there is only good and there is no bad there. It almost doesn't really make sense. It doesn't, like, to us it doesn't, because we're from this earth, and on this earth we have good and we have evil. And the hard thing to realize is beyond this earth there is a place of all good and there is a place of all evil. And when we come to realize that, I think that's really important to help us get through this life, because we're only here for a small time. And, I mean, I'm like 25 now. So say I die at 70, if the world lasts that long, who knows? But if I died at maybe 70, 80, that's less than 50 years left on this planet. And then I have eternity somewhere else. So just keep that in mind. Even if you want to, like, for the simplicity of human beings, pretend we only live 1,000 years, which I know we don't, but pretend just for simplicity. If we're going to be thinking about like 50 fun years here, which I mean my whole life before was just, let's just say I was not part of the good crowd. I was part of the bad kids, partying all the time. Not bad kids, but just, getting into trouble, doing anything I wanted. Really doing like, now I've learned these technical words, but doing like worldly things, and I've just realized that there's so much more to this planet than just that, and I'm grateful that God gave me the experience to be able to tell you guys this. And I'm not really a person that likes to share these things. You know, if it was my way, I wouldn't say this at all. Like, I would actually just avoid this entire thing. And I wasn't going to tell anybody. I told people close to me, but I would never imagine making like a YouTube video. Like, I don't really, you know, I'm kind of shy that way. I don't really need to share things with, well, the entire world for that matter. But I just felt like this was a story that could help maybe even one person, like hopefully one, at least one, realize that there is life beyond this life. And it's important that we realize that, pretend we even live 1,000 years, we live more than that, but for simplicity, that the 50 or so years that we live on this planet, I'm 20, so if I died at 70, 25, the 50 or so years, 70 years that we live on this planet is not worth eternity in somewhere that we do not belong. We belong in that beautiful place where we came from, with God, and doing things that we deserve to do. And, well, if our actions are right and stuff, but, we are born to come back home. And it is this feeling of home. When you go, when I went there, it was just like I was home. I didn't want to even come back. Well, I felt the need to, but I didn't want to. Anyways, this is just a cry for you guys to just wake up. Yeah. And another thing too is I want to mention, I didn't get to see anything past the light, but I've looked at other YouTube videos, and I'm going to post other people's, if I can. I'm not sure if I can figure it out. I don't really use it. But I'm going to try to put other people's videos, because other people have went into the light, where I've went, where they've had death experiences, but they went all the way like into heaven. Some people even went all the way into hell. So this is pretty interesting. And I think you guys, if you watch my video, try watching their videos, because it's probably better. Well, not better, but it will probably go more in depth about, life after death. So good luck, and thank you for listening. Oh, and this video goes out to God, not me.